She endured harsh ridicule. At the most lavish financial gala in all of Europe, her unbranded satin dress, flat shoes, and hair styled simply were the subject of amusement on every velvet staircase. It seems like a staff member has mistakenly entered the VIP lounge, one noblewoman murmured. Who is she to be seated near the shareholder board? Every glance seemed to overlook her, as though her presence was an unintentional oversight. Then the organizer's phone rang. Shortly afterward, the Marlowe family lawyer arrived, and unexpectedly, she became the sole heir to a billion-dollar empire. Marlowe Hall stood as a monument to wealth, its limestone facade glowing under the starlit skies of the English countryside. The mansion, with its sprawling gardens and baccarat chandeliers, served as the central hub of Europe's financial elite, having hosted the 70th birthday gala of Genevieve Marlowe, chairwoman of Marlowe and Company. A bastion of established wealth, the institution stood as the continent's oldest private bank. The atmosphere glowed with Dior gowns, Patek Philippe watches, and the delicate sound of crystal flutes. Invitations, adorned with gold leaf, listed names synonymous with powerful families. Rothschild, Agnelli, von Habsburg. No media entered the iron gates. No guest not pre-approved stepped across the marble threshold. This was a realm shaped by heritage, where lineage held value and discretion was a fault. Behind the velvet ropes, a retired professor in Hong Kong observed a private live stream, his frail hands holding a faded photo, his eyes focused on a young woman's solitary grace. Eva Sinclair entered the grand hall, her satin dress, a soft ivory, unbranded, flowing simply, reflecting the chandelier light. Her flat shoes made a quiet sound on the polished floor, her black hair tied low, with no jewelry on her wrists or neck. At 26, Eva possessed a subtle beauty, her almond eyes and gentle features glowing with a peaceful clarity, reminiscent of a still lake at dawn. Growing up in a modest Hong Kong flat, she had lost her mother at a young age and was raised by her father, a disowned heir who taught literature and rejected wealth. She had studied finance at a local university, worked as a translator for a small NGO, and maintained a frugal lifestyle, her heart molded by service rather than status. She arrived this evening as the guest of Hans Berger, chairman of Switzerland's largest investment fund, her appearance unannounced, her understated style a surprise amidst the elaborate gowns and jewels. The attendees' gazes followed Eva as she moved across the room, their murmurs cutting like shards of glass. Beatrice Langley, a British aristocrat in a $60,000 Dior gown, turned to her companion, her voice audible on the live stream. Was this a case of staff being allowed at galas now? She scoffed, her diamond tiara catching the light. Amusement spread among the assembled guests, many secretly recording Eva's simple dress with their phones. Marcus Vellier, a French hedge fund manager sporting a $15,000 Patek watch, smiled from his table. Observe her wrist, not even a Cartier, he remarked, prompting laughter from his companions. Eva's fingers lightly touched her sash. Her expression remained calm, yet the atmosphere was thick with scorn. Her father's face on the live stream became strained, the insults feeling like a blow to his pride, and the audience pulsed with anger, a spark awaiting ignition. The ridicule intensified, evolving into a planned attack on Eva's appearance. A group of heiresses, adorned in $40,000 gowns, arranged themselves in a semicircle, their voices a poisonous chorus. She likely stumbled and unintentionally, one hissed, flinging a silk napkin towards Eva's feet, or worse, his short-term guest. Another displayed a jeweled phone, exclaiming, "She's a thrift store attendee. I bet she's never experienced a gala." Phones illuminated, their private messages harsh, while Marlowe focused on her, taking pictures of her plain shoes. A German banker loudly declared, "She's lowering the standards of this event." The crowd's laughter felt like a public condemnation, every word a sting against Eva's quietness. Her father's face on the live stream showed distress, each insult hurting his daughter's honor. The audience's anger escalated, their hearts racing, indignant at this group's persistent cruelty. The upper class's disdain became hostile as Eva proceeded through the hall, their taunts a deliberate challenge. A cluster of banking heiresses in $45,000 couture gowns created a blockade, their voices a spiteful blend. She's a detriment to Marlowe's reputation. One scoffed, knocking a champagne flute's rim to scatter droplets by Eva's feet. Return to the slums, darling. Someone gestured with a jeweled phone, declaring her dress resembles a tablecloth. I doubt she's ever attended a genuine gala. Mobile phones captured the moment, with private messages flooding with hashtags like Marlowe mistake, focusing on her simple shoes. A Russian tycoon exclaimed, "She's a disrespect to every legacy present." The audience's laughter felt overwhelming, each comment a sharp blow against Eva's composed demeanor. Her father's expression on the live stream conveyed deep distress, every remark a painful injury to his daughter's honor. The audience's anger escalated, their hearts racing, outraged by this deliberate humiliation, their fury burning to challenge the elite's pride. Genevieve Marlowe, the evening's host, came down the grand staircase, her $100,000 emerald necklace sparkling. She stopped close to Eva's table, her silver hair elegant, her voice filled with disdain. "I'm not sure who you are, dear," she stated, loud enough for the live stream to record. This table was designated for individuals sharing the name. Her companions chuckled, their jewelry sparkling, cameras recording Eva's composed expression. "Maybe you would feel more at ease with the staff," Genevieve suggested, indicating a side entrance. The attendees applauded, their derision a powerful surge, their hushed conversations murmuring, "Hatch, an uninvited guest." Eva's almond-shaped eyes met Genevieve's, unwavering, though a tremor ran through her. Her father's hands shook during the live stream, the host's actions feeling like a painful blow to his daughter's self-esteem. The audience's anger intensified, their hearts aching for Eva, and they were outraged by this public humiliation. Genevieve Marlowe's contempt grew sharper, her statements intended as a calculated attack to harm Eva in front of the global elite. "You're not just out of place, you're an embarrassment," she stated, her $100,000 emerald necklace sparkling as she indicated Eva's satin dress. "Hans Berger seemed to have made a questionable decision in inviting you." A wave of laughter spread through her group, their diamonds sparkling, and cameras focused on Eva's simply styled hair. "You're a charity case, not a guest," Genevieve remarked, her words carried by the live stream's concealed microphones. "This hall is for established figures, not cast-offs." The attendees echoed, their disapproval a rising tide, their private conversations swirling. Had Marlowe felt shame? Eva's almond-shaped eyes held a controlled intensity, but her smile remained steady, a defense against the disappointment. Her father's hands trembled during the live stream. The public humiliation felt like a sharp blow to his daughter. The audience's anger was overwhelming, their sympathy directed towards Eva, while they were outraged by this woman's betrayal, now visible to everyone. The disapproval of the powerful became cruel, their words a poisonous chorus. Sylvia Reinhardt, a Dutch media heiress wearing a $50,000 couture dress, moved closer, her voice distinct within the room. She seemed insignificant, likely paid to attend, she remarked, her words carried by the live stream's concealed microphones. Her associates concurred, one adding, "Her father must also be unremarkable. No wonder he isn't present." Numerous notifications appeared, private messages rapidly spreading, focusing on Eva's simply styled hair. A British lord's daughter exclaimed, "She is a disgrace to Marlowe's heritage." The laughter intensified, each remark feeling like a painful blow aimed at Eva's heart. Her father's face on the live stream conveyed immense distress, each falsehood a blow to his daughter's reputation. The audience's outrage surged, their anger a powerful force directed at this planned act of cruelty, hoping for justice to dismantle the elite's sense of superiority. The gala's staff, accustomed to remaining unseen, participated in the derision with understated remarks. A waiter, offering champagne, stopped close to Eva, speaking in a quiet but clear tone. "Miss, the service entrance is that way," he said, gesturing toward a side door, his smirk reflected by nearby guests. "We don't typically seat guests of your kind at the main tables," he added, eliciting laughter from the elite. Numerous onlookers captured Eva's serene face, their private conversations circulating, a staff mistake. The crowd's approval felt like a stifling wave, their arrogance a public humiliation. Eva straightened her sash, her almond eyes steady, but her father's live stream feed displayed his face falling, the staff's involvement a new disappointment. The audience's anger intensified, their hearts racing at this display of institutional cruelty, their fury ignited, threatening to destroy the hall's dignity. The gala's staff, instructed to protect Marlowe Hall's reputation, added their disdain to the elite's insults with sharp remarks. A maitre d', elegantly dressed, stopped close to Eva's table, his voice dripping with derision. "Miss, this section is reserved for invited guests only," he stated, ensuring the livestream could hear. He indicated her unbranded dress with a gesture, and a smirk spread across his face, reflected by those around him. "Your attire suggests you're in the incorrect area," he added, prompting laughter from the attendees. Phones recorded Eva's calm expression as private messages circulated, labeling the incident a gala oversight. The audience's agreement felt oppressive, their confidence a public embarrassment. Eva straightened her sash, her almond eyes steady, but her father's live stream revealed his face falling, the staff's involvement a new injury. The audience's anger intensified, their hearts racing at this institutional failing, their fury burning against the hall's reputation. Murmurs grew louder, the guests' disapproval becoming a worldwide event through the private live stream. A Monaco princess's cousin published an unidentified intruder, focusing on Eva's simple dress. A guest messaged, calling her a fake, a claim shared by a banking heir. The son of a French diplomat loudly suggested she forged her invitation, causing laughter to ripple through the hall. Hidden comments on the live stream surged with demands. "Eject her. Imposter." A woman wearing a $30,000 Valentino gown exclaimed, "She's humiliating Marlowe Hall. Someone stop this." Eva's hands remained still, her almond-shaped eyes focused on the distance. Her father's face on the live stream conveyed immense suffering, each online criticism feeling like a personal insult to his daughter. The audience's outrage was palpable, their emotions aligned with Eva's, yearning for this worldwide humiliation to cease. The guests' harshness escalated as they spread damaging stories, their voices a poisonous torrent intensified by the live stream. A Spanish duke's daughter moved closer, her $60,000 tiara sparkling, and said in a noticeable tone, "She's a fraud, likely coerced Berger to gain entry." Her companions acknowledged, their diamonds reflecting the light, one stating, "Her father's probably not even real, just a story to trick her here." Phones illuminated, private messages overflowing with falsehoods, as someone speculated, enlarging the image of Eva's loosely tied hair. A London financier exclaimed, "She's an imposter. Paulo has been deceived." The laughter resonated, each rumor a painful blow aimed at Eva's heart. Her father's image on the live stream displayed a face filled with anguish, each falsehood a hurt to his daughter's reputation. The audience's anger surged, their sympathies with Eva, their frustration a powerful force against this harmful accusations, eager for the truth to expose the elite's deceptions. A change occurred when Genevieve's secretary, a perceptive woman in a professional suit, visibly lost color during a phone call. Her phone vibrated repeatedly, and her voice shook as she spoke quietly to an assistant. The attendees observed, their quiet conversation stopping, phones being put down. The secretary quickly approached Genevieve, speaking urgently but softly, stating, "It's the Marlowe family's legal firm. The new heir is arriving immediately." The hall became still, the sound of crystal glasses being replaced by a feeling of anticipation. Eva remained composed, her satin dress unaffected by the disruption, her almond-shaped eyes peaceful. Her father's face on the live stream appeared gentler, a brief sign of hope visible in his expression. A palpable sense of excitement and apprehension filled the room, a mix of anger and anticipation hinting at an impending revelation. 10 minutes passed, and then the large doors opened, revealing a man in a gray suit, Edward Grayson, the personal lawyer for the deceased Alfred Marlowe, Genevieve's grandfather. He carried a sealed envelope and a single sheet of paper. The assembled group made way for him, their jewels losing their brilliance, their expressions strained. Grayson spoke, his voice calm amidst the quiet, stating, "By directive of Alfred Marlowe's last will, the board of Marlowe and Compion is required to convene without delay." He hesitated, his eyes meeting Eva's. "The only beneficiary of the Marlowe banking legacy is here this evening." A murmur went through the attendees, phones shaking, and the live stream became chaotic. The question arose, who is it? Not Genevieve? Eva subtly touched her sash, her expression unreadable, while her father, watching the live stream, showed a flash of pride. A palpable sense of expectation filled the room, transforming from resentment to amazement as the reality emerged. Grayson advanced, opening the envelope with careful precision. According to his statement, Alfred Marlowe's son, Henry, had been disowned for marrying a woman of Asian descent, a decision made contrary to the family's preferences. Henry and his wife had subsequently raised a daughter in seclusion, away from this society. That daughter is Eva Sinclair. He presented a document, a DNA test result, offering undeniable confirmation of Eva's heritage. According to Alfred's will, Eva is the sole heir to Marlowe and Company, possessing full control of its assets and board. A palpable stillness fell over the hall. Genevieve's emerald necklace seemed suddenly heavy, her face paling. Those guests who had previously mocked Eva appeared visibly uncomfortable, their phones momentarily forgotten. Eva's almond-shaped eyes met Grayson's, her silence radiating a powerful intensity. Her father's tears flowed during the live stream, his exile now appearing justified. The audience felt a surge of emotion, their anger shifting into celebration, as Eva's truth emerged, humbling the elite. The board members seated at the central table stood as one, their faces ashen. Genevieve's voice faltered, This is a mistake. But Grayson's gaze remained firm. The will is final. You and all other Marlowe branches are removed from ownership and the board, effective immediately. A collective gasp swept through the room. Their wealth felt inconsequential, their standing vanished. Beatrice Langley's tiara dislodged, Marcus Vellier's watch ceased to function, Sylvia Reinhardt's couture dress appeared to droop. The live stream became a global phenomenon, with Eva Sinclair dominating social media, her quiet elegance quickly becoming iconic. The downfall of the elite was a striking display, their pride diminished to nothingness under Hans's direction. Genevieve's complexion paled, her emerald necklace appearing like an antique, and her name rose to prominence as a warning. Beatrice Langley's online presence crumbled, her derision becoming a widely shared embarrassment. Marcus Vellier's hedge fund experienced a sharp decline, his dismissiveness a visible failure. Media stocks of Sylvia Reinhardt crashed, her hashtags a social scar. The Spanish Duke's daughter hid her face, her tiara no shield against the live stream's captions. She mocked Eva Sinclair. The staff who'd sneered were escorted out, their careers ended. The guests who'd laughed were shunned, their influence null. Eva stood tall, her low-tied hair a quiet crown, her almond eyes unyielding. The live stream captured the elite's fall, comments flooding. They deserved it, @Eva triumphs. A wave of emotion swept through the audience, shifting anger to a palpable sense of pride. Eva's triumph and Hans's response, a force that diminished the world's wealthiest, resonated deeply. Eva stood, her satin dress shimmering, her almond eyes gentle yet firm. Applause erupted from the audience, mirroring the downfall of the elite's arrogance as it yielded to her understated strength. Hans Berger, the Swiss investment fund chairman, rose from his seat, his movement commanding absolute silence across the hall. You challenged Eva Sinclair, the rightful successor of Marlowe and Company, he stated, his steel-gray eyes blazing. Your wealth, your titles are meaningless when compared to her legacy. He produced his phone, showing a series of canceled deals, banking contracts with Beatrice Langley, investment partnerships with Marcus Vellier, trade agreements with Sylvia Reinhardt, all terminated. Your names have been removed from my fund's network, he announced, his gaze fixed on Genevieve. You have forfeited more than a seat, you have lost your future. The crowd's gasps echoed, their expectations shifting under his command. The live stream quickly became a worldwide trend, with comments appearing rapidly. He's unstoppable. @Eva, justice. Eva appeared composed, her satin dress gleaming, her victory confirmed by Hans' unwavering power. The audience erupted, their spirits lifting as his global retribution humbled the elite's arrogance. Those who'd previously mocked now rose to their feet. With lowered heads and empires seemingly shaken, the heiresses who had discarded napkins fell silent, their private conversations ceasing. The waiter who had previously mocked Eva moved away, his tray visibly trembling. The Monaco princess's cousin removed her post, effectively diminishing her impact. Genevieve's hands shook, her necklace appearing as a memento of a collapsed era. Eva advanced, her voice remaining gentle, as it was upon her arrival. "I don't require diamonds to understand my identity," she stated, her words sharply dividing the atmosphere. "But thank you, as your patronizing glances clarified precisely why my grandfather did not bequeath this empire to you." The hall remained still, no one willing to stir, their derision a diminishing resonance. The audience's esteem grew, Eva's demeanor a flame that consumed the elite's harshness into nothingness. The consequences were swift, a judgment conveyed without utterance. Genevieve's position on the board was terminated. Her name was removed from Marlowe and Compy's history. Beatrice Langley's social reputation declined sharply. Her ridicule became a widely shared embarrassment. Marcus Vellier's hedge fund underwent audits. His derision became a matter of public record. Sylvia Reinhardt's media holdings experienced difficulties. Her promotional labels were deemed inappropriate. Those employees who had previously displayed contempt were let go. Their professional prospects ended. The attendees who had previously expressed amusement dispersed, their invitations were invalidated, and their standing diminished. Eva proceeded towards the large doors, her simple shoes firm, her satin dress a subtle symbol of elegance. Her father's face appeared on the live stream, radiating pride, his daughter's success a reflection of their combined resilience. The spectators' hearts raced, their frustration shifting to admiration, Eva's win a tribute to her poise. The hall's prominent figures stirred, their phones ringing with urgent calls to their staff. "Schedule a meeting with Miss Sinclair," one exclaimed, his voice wavering. "Now," she directs Marlowe, a fact passed around in hushed tones. Her Dior gown offered no defense against reality. The board members lingered, their positions rendered insignificant, their prospects now dependent on Eva's decisions. The live stream documented the disarray, with comments rapidly accumulating. "She appears invincible, having established Eva's guidelines." Eva halted at the entrance, her almond-shaped eyes briefly surveying the room. She was unaccompanied, without security or a retinue. She entered the night, leaving behind a procession of the world's wealthiest individuals vying for her notice, their gestures a quiet acknowledgement of her power. She possessed no aristocratic lineage, no jewelry adorning her wrist, no familiar name among them, but she held one distinction that none at Marlowe Hall did, a heritage that compelled the world's elite to show deference. Like, share, and subscribe for more stories like this, and tell us in the comments, would you have maintained your silence as Eva did? A mother experienced embarrassment the moment she entered the parent-teacher meeting at the prestigious international school. Due to her cotton shirt and worn flats, she became the subject of ridicule among mothers with red lipstick and designer handbags. One inquired if she worked in the cafeteria, and another laughed, suggesting she had entered the wrong room. 15 minutes later, her billionaire husband arrived. Hillside Academy was situated on a carefully landscaped hill in San Francisco, its glass and steel campus symbolizing prosperity and aspiration. With a yearly tuition of $80,000, it attracted tech executives, hedge fund managers, and established wealthy families. Students arrived in Teslas and Range Rovers. Parent-teacher conferences were an impressive event, taking place in the auditorium beneath a high, curved ceiling, with chandeliers scattering light over rows of velvet seating. The parents entered as if attending a Met Gala, adorned in silk blazers, their stilettos clicking, Hermes Kelly bags swaying, and the air scented with Creed perfume. Their jewelry, including Cartier and Van Cleef pieces, shimmered like a personal constellation, and their murmured conversations held an air of authority. This was a setting where social standing was the accepted measure and nonconformity was heavily discouraged. Clara Vale entered through the double doors, her white cotton shirt tucked into straight-leg trousers, her faded gray flats making no sound on the polished floor. At 32, she possessed a quiet beauty, with emerald eyes that conveyed warmth and strength, dark hair arranged in a neat bun, her face unadorned and glowing naturally. She held a small notebook and a scuffed iPhone 8, her only adornments a simple wedding band and an aura of calm, unwavering poise. "Clara," the daughter of a retired librarian and a carpenter, grew up in a modest Oakland bungalow. However, she was secretly married to Ethan Vale, a billionaire tech founder whose $200 million donation had rebuilt Hillside's campus. She prioritized a simple life, her wealth connected to Ethan's $10 billion empire, while maintaining a love for teaching art part-time and raising their daughter, Lily. She had come today to address Lily's difficulties, her heart calm but burdened. The auditorium resonated with carefully managed conversations, parents enjoying sparkling water from crystal glasses, their Rolexes reflecting the light. As Clara took a seat in the rear rows, the parents, adorned in Chanel and sparkling with Cartier, made her arrival a pointed display. Vanessa Holt, the venture capitalist's wife, rose and indicated Clara's flats, proclaiming, "Did she borrow those from the school's lost and found?" A wave of applause filled the air, accompanied by the sparkle of diamond rings as attendees captured images and shared them within the Hillside Royals WhatsApp group. Diana Crane, relaxed and dressed in Gucci, playfully tossed a discarded napkin at Clara, saying, "Use this for your resume." Lila Pierce, the technology CEO, remarked, "She's an embarrassment to Hillside's reputation." Simultaneously, phones recorded the scene, with video clips appearing on Instagram stories alongside captions such as "Scholarship Scrub." Elise Tate, her fur stole swaying, smirked from the sidelines, her silence seeming to approve of the attack. The laughter surged like a wave, each taunt a new injury to Clara's pride, but she remained upright, her emerald eyes steady, her notebook held close. The posts received 30,000 views, each share a public humiliation of her dignity. Clara took a seat in the back row, her notebook resting on her lap, her eyes surveying the room. As Clara took her seat, the parents' derision escalated into a harsh display. Vanessa Holt, her Chanel suit reflecting the light, rose and brandished a $5,000 Mont Blanc pen, exclaiming, "Did she borrow this from the janitor's cart?" The crowd reacted with uproar, their diamond bracelets sparkling as they shared posts to the Hillside Royals group with the caption, "Hammer Charity Case." Diana Crane, her Gucci dress catching the light, threw a sugar cube from her coffee tray at Clara, taunting, "Here for your next thrift store run." Lila Pierce, her Rolex catching the light, declared, "She's a stain on Hillside's legacy." Elise Tate, her first stole moving with her, recorded the event, her Instagram live accumulating 40,000 views with comments such as, "Ban her," and "She's embarrassing." The taunts formed a planned attack, each word a new wound to Clara's dignity. However, she remained composed, her emerald eyes unwavering, her notebook a quiet defense. The video circulated, each interaction a public reprimand, to her pride. Amidst Vanessa's taunts, the school staff became involved, transforming Clara's situation into a public spectacle. A counselor, Tara Lee, positioned close to the stage, seized a program and brandished it, loudly asking, "What's this, your application to clean the halls?" The parents laughed, Diana recording, her live stream caption reading, "Had Hillside Hobo." Another staff member, Dean Paul Carter, added, "She thought she could integrate with us?" Marcus Tate exclaimed, "Check her bag. I bet it's full of thrift store receipts." The footage went viral on X, garnering a meeting with Had and accumulating 40,000 retweets. Clara opened her notebook, displaying only lesson plans, but Tara threw it back, whispering, "Trash," just like her outfit. The shaming was a calculated display, the staff's hostility intensifying the elite's disdain. Clara's flats remained still, her emerald eyes flashing with discomfort, but her silence persisted, a silent resistance against the crowd. The posts circulated, each view a painful blow to her self-respect. Vanessa Holt, a venture capitalist's wife with 300,000 Instagram followers, and mother dressed in a red Chanel suit, observed Clara and expressed a derisive smile. She remarked to her friend, Diana Crane, a real estate heiress and wearer of an emerald Gucci, "Did someone extend invitations to the cafeteria staff for this gathering?" Diana responded with laughter, her $50,000 Birkin swaying, "That's Lily's mom, the student with a full scholarship. Apparently, she originates from modest circumstances." A ripple of laughter went through the room, with phones quietly taking pictures, the images instantly shared in a private WhatsApp group labeled Hillside Royals Scholarships NAFU. Clara remained still, catching sharp comments from the staff table located behind the stage. Paul Carter, straightening his tie, remarked with disdain, "Look at her. I bet she makes her own clothes with a library card." Tara, organizing handouts, chuckled. "She's here to ask for Lily's tuition." A third staff member, a librarian named Mia Holt, commented, "Ms. Veronica is too classy for people like that." Their words were audible as Clara steadied her notebook. An intern, carrying coffee, photographed Clara and shared the image to the staff's Slack channel with the caption, "Hat had lost in luxury." The image was then published on a gossip blog, which quickly accumulated comments such as, "Pathetic. Ban her." Rumors circulated like a backstage betrayal, reflecting the parents' disapproval, every statement a deliberate attempt to diminish Clara's value. Her bun remained tidy, her emerald eyes blazing, yet she continued writing, their negativity unable to shatter her poise. The blog post reached 50,000 views, each comment a new hurt. Clara raised her head, her emerald eyes steady and intense. "Thank you for expressing concern about my family's finances," she stated, her voice gentle but distinct. "Were you examining bank statements to feel superior?" The room fell silent, Vanessa's face reddening, her voice sharp. "Who do you think you are? Just sit there quietly and be thankful, freeloader." The parents nodded, their jewelry making a clinking sound, as if Clara's presence was an insult to their world. Clara's lips curved into a slight smile, her posture unwavering. "Oh, now I understand why your daughter bullies mine," she said, her tone even. "It seems she's picked up that mannerism somewhere." The auditorium grew colder, audible gasps spreading, yet Clara remained seated, her notebook open, her silence a steadfast defense. The taunts continued. While Clara shifted her notebook, she overheard muttered comments from the staff table positioned close to the stage. Mia Holt, the librarian, spoke in a loud whisper, her clothes clearly indicate food stamps. "How could she possibly sit with us?" Paul Carter laughed. "She's likely here to acquire additional scholarships." Tara Lee remarked that Ms. Veronica was too sophisticated for her type. Their voices were audible, pointed enough to cause discomfort as Clara was seated just a few rows back. An intern, tasked with arranging chairs, captured a photo of Clara's flats and shared it on the staff's private Discord, with the caption, "Had Hillside Hobo too." The image subsequently appeared on a local gossip site, prompting a deluge of comments, including "disgraceful," "expel her kid." The hushed remarks constituted a planned act of disloyalty, reflecting the parents' contempt, and represented a concerted effort to undermine Clara's value. Her bun remained neat, her emerald eyes glowing with controlled intensity, yet she continued writing, their negativity failing to shatter her determination. The site's post reached 70,000 views, with each comment a new wound. Diana Crane, her Gucci dress gleaming, whispered to Lila Pierce, loud enough for Clara to overhear, "Her daughter's a difficulty, frequently upset in class." She continued, "It's no surprise. She has a mother who can't even dress appropriately for this gathering." Lila Pierce, her diamond studs sparkling, added, "Students on scholarships invariably create drama. These individuals are not welcome." Videos taken on their phones have been shared within the WhatsApp group, now reaching 20,000 views, and attracting numerous comments with calls to remove them. Hillside deserves better. Marcus Tate, a father and tech VP, participated, expressing mockery, suggesting, "Bet she's here to beg for more handouts." The ensuing laughter felt like a surge, and each remark felt like a new hurt, but Clara maintained a composed gaze, her flats firmly planted on the floor, and her dignity served as a defense against their harsh words. Ms. Veronica Blake, the homeroom teacher, stood from her desk. Her navy blazer was sharply tailored, her blonde bob neatly styled. At 40, she was Hillside's key figure, her reputation established by satisfying affluent parents, her $200,000 salary dependent on their satisfaction. Her tone was level yet cold. "I want to address a sensitive matter," she stated, her gaze fixed on Clara. "Lily has been experiencing frequent crying in class, having difficulty with socializing, and causing disturbances in the classroom environment." Parents acknowledged, Vanessa murmuring, "As expected." Clara expressed a subtle frown, her voice remaining composed. My daughter reported being locked out of class, having her lunch concealed, and being pushed in the bathroom, she stated. Ms. Veronica's expression became more intense, her voice carrying a critical edge. Children who experience bullying often contribute to the situation, she observed. You might consider a review of your parenting approaches. A ripple of agreement passed through the room, Diana's Birkin making a sound as she nodded. Ms. Veronica proceeded, her voice distinct amidst the subdued sounds. Following a discussion with the school board, we have decided to suspend Lily for 3 days to prevent further disruption. Parents offered quiet applause. Marcus smirked, saying, "Good call." Clara's fingers tightened around her notebook, her emerald eyes briefly reflecting distress, but she remained silent. She retrieved her iPhone, composed a brief message, and sent it. Lily's been suspended because we're not rich enough. The room remained oblivious, their conversations continuing, Vanessa uploading a confident picture to Instagram, with the caption, "Hat, Hillside Standards." While Ms. Veronica's words lingered, Vanessa Holt initiated a severe online attack. She shared a collection of Clara's difficulties, her apartment being damaged, Tara discarding her notebook, her face showing distress, accompanied by a mocking pop song, and the caption, "Poor mom struggles at Hillside. Stay in your lane." The video quickly became viral on TikTok, reaching 300,000 views and receiving comments such as, "She's a nobody," and "Hillside deserves better." Lila Pierce highlighted it on YouTube, stating, "This is why we protect our elite spaces. People like her damage everything." The video spread worldwide, each share a new pain for Clara, who saw it on a newsstand tablet outside, waiting for Ethan. Remarks in the auditorium mocked, whispering, "She's viral for all the wrong reasons." Their laughter stung, but Clara remained upright, her emerald eyes unwavering, her composure concealing turmoil within. The online harassment campaign targeted her reputation, with Vanessa leveraging Clara's distress to gain attention. Spectators continuously recorded the event, each share a demonstration of Hillside's harshness. The post accumulated 50,000 likes, each a painful blow. Clara remained composed, her shoes still, her heart a silent turmoil poised to erupt. 10 minutes elapsed when the auditorium doors swung open. Ethan Vale entered, his sharply tailored gray suit impeccable, his Italian leather shoes polished, his dark eyes assessing the room. At 35, he was renowned in the tech world, his AI company, Vale Tech, assessed at $10 billion, and featured on the Forbes 40 Under 40 cover. His $200 million contribution had financed Hillside's new library, theater, and STEM wing, his name displayed on the campus gates. The room fell silent, Vanessa's flute dropping, Diana's Birkin falling to the floor. "Ethan Vale," Lila murmured, her earrings losing their shine. Adults remained standing, their ornaments appearing less vibrant, as Ethan approached Clara, resting a soft hand on her shoulder. "My apologies for the wait," he stated, his tone composed yet authoritative. "I am Lily's father, and the individual who invested $200 million into Hillside this year." A stunned silence filled the room. Ethan retrieved a USB drive from his briefcase and gave it to the principal, Dr. Helen Marsh, who stood motionless close by. According to last week's security footage, he stated, his voice devoid of emotion, "The footage shows our daughter being forced into a cabinet. A teacher witnessed this incident and did not intervene." His gaze turned to Ms. Veronica, who visibly blanched, her blazer showing signs of distress. "You are no longer a teacher," he declared, "you are an accomplice." Parents reacted with shock, Vanessa's Chanel suit appearing to droop, and Diana's face flushed. Ethan's entrance didn't just quiet the room, it altered its dynamic. Addressing the parents, his voice was firm, stating that Hillside's funding was being reevaluated, beginning with each family implicated in this situation. Vanessa Holt's online influence significantly diminished as Chanel and Dior ended their partnerships, resulting in a drop to 5,000 followers, and her Pacific Heights penthouse was put on the market to address financial obligations. Diana Crane's real estate business failed, her yacht was taken back, and her Birkin handbags were sold at a pawn shop. Lila Pierce's technological ventures encountered widespread boycotts, and she was effectively excluded from Silicon Valley leadership roles. the National Education Association released a critical report, highlighted in a widely shared article, Hillside Elites Fallen Trending. At a San Francisco charity ball, attendees wore cotton ribbons as a tribute to Clara, rejecting the discredited group. Online platforms buzzed with activity, users sharing they embarrassed Clara. Now they are being disregarded. Clara observed the consequences from her Oakland center, her cotton shirt a symbol of hope, her resolve unwavering as the elite acknowledged her truth. Ethan's influence was sudden and impactful. The implicated parties experienced public humiliation and apprehension about lasting consequences. Ethan's USB drive triggered a significant legal action, with the Vale's attorneys filing a $75 million lawsuit against Hillside for negligence and defamation, identifying Ms. Veronica, Tara, Paul, and Vanessa as co-conspirators. The court awarded $25 million, leading to Hillside's financial ruin, a depletion of its endowment, and the sale of its campus to a public trust. Ms. Veronica's teaching career concluded, her assets were seized, and her name became a cautionary example. Tara and Paul were charged with criminal negligence, their reputations irrevocably damaged. The settlement facilitated the Vale Foundation's expansion internationally, initiating anti-bullying programs in Berlin and Sydney, safeguarding 5,000 children. Schools globally embraced Clara's equity charter, eliminating elitist practices stemming from her actions. Forbes published a feature on Clara Vale, the mother who transformed education, with her flats representing resilience. Social media reacted strongly to Clara's triumph, with users sharing posts and celebrating her success in dismantling a corrupt system. At a foundation gala, a student embraced Clara, their future now assured. Clara smiled, her emerald eyes sparkling, her victory serving as a beacon of hope for those unheard. Ethan's influence was substantial, shattering the world of those responsible and burying their legacy beneath Clara's integrity. The WhatsApp group fell silent. The Harris Scholarship's incident videos were quickly removed in a flurry of anxiety. Clara stood up, the light illuminating her cotton shirt, her green eyes scanning the room, connecting with each person. "I'm not seeking apologies," she stated, her voice firm and resolute. "I simply hope that, following today's events, you will instruct your children to be respectful individuals, rather than cultivating a mindset that values people based on their wealth and possessions." She then faced Ms. Veronica, offering a smile that was outwardly pleasant but subtly sharp. "I prefer a simple style," she stated, "not because of any financial limitation, but because I felt no need to demonstrate anything to others." The room felt empty, the parents appearing diminished, their affluence rendered insignificant. Clara's words resonated like a judgment, her composure a subtle dismantling of their self-importance. Clara offered a final, courteous smile, stating, "Thanks to today, I can now clearly identify the genuinely disadvantaged individuals present." The immediate consequences were substantial. By evening, the San Francisco Chronicle published a headline, "Billionaire Donor Exposes Hillside Academy's Bullying Scandal." Footage from a USB, leaked to X, quickly became viral, depicting Lily, a small 9-year-old with Clara's emerald eyes, being shoved into a cabinet by Vanessa's daughter, Harper, while Ms. Veronica walked past with her clipboard. The clip reached 5 million views and generated hashtags such as Hillside, Shame, Trending, along with comments like "Fire them all" and "Protect Lily." Ms. Veronica was terminated, her teaching license undergoing review, and her reputation severely damaged within educational communities. Vanessa's Instagram account experienced a loss of 200,000 followers, while her venture capitalist husband began to create distance between them. Their Pacific Heights mansion was discreetly put on the market. Clara chose to avoid prolonged public attention. A month later, she appeared at a renovated Oakland community center, her own apartment now quiet on the hardwood, establishing the Vale Foundation, a charitable organization dedicated to assisting bullied children and supporting underfunded schools. The initial gala generated $15 million, with Ethan's donation taking a leading role. Clara's cotton shirt had become iconic, appearing in Vogue as the look of courage. She managed every aspect, her notebook containing detailed plans, her iPhone receiving expressions of gratitude from families. Ethan, with his jet at SFO, provided support discreetly, but Clara's vision guided the mission. The center's walls displayed photographs of Lily's new school, a progressive academy where she flourished, her smile radiant. Hillside parents apologized, but Clara focused on change. Her wealth was tied up in veil tech. Hillside's reputation plummeted. The school board resigned. Dr. Marsh stepped down, her legacy tarnished. Vanessa's daughter was expelled. Her family was rejected by the elite. Diane's real estate deals fell through. Her Birkins were sold to cover debts. Lila's tech firm faced a boycott. Her stilettos became a relic. Marcus lost his role as vice president. His smirk was forgotten. The academy experienced a 30% decline in enrollment. Its chandeliers appeared dim, and its gates served as a stark reminder of Clara's statement. Online platforms celebrated with hashtags centered on Clara, trending as users shared posts. She refrained from arguing, achieving victory with composure. The Vail Foundation's second event, co-hosted by Clara and Ethan, welcomed 2,000 guests, each a reflection of their shared mission. Clara and Ethan spent evenings at their Marine County residence, where the garden flourished with lavender. She was dressed in a cotton shirt, and he wore a sweater, eschewing a tie. Over tea, they outlined plans, with Clara's notebook open on the table, displaying a recent photograph of Lily at the foundation's launch, her laughter bright. Their love was understated, their resources considerable, but their purpose even greater, dedicated to safeguarding those in need. The world now recognized Clara, no longer simply as a benefactor of scholarships, but as a powerful figure who transformed unkindness into empathy. Clara Vail sought no recognition. She was the core of it all. If you enjoyed this story, please consider supporting us by sharing it, liking it, and subscribing. We'd also love to hear from you. Please leave a comment and tell us what you would have done if you were in that room. She endured a deeply embarrassing ordeal. During her wedding, each step she took down the Montclair Castle aisle felt oppressive, as if crushed under the weight of mocking stares. "Wait, that's the bride," someone derisively commented. They thought she was a member of the staff who was lost. Her dress was simple silk, lacking any embellishments, no shimmer, no train, no designer lace. She proceeded alone, without bridesmaids or family. And beneath the sound of clinking wine glasses arose whispers, cutting like knives. Was she deserted? She isn't suitable to be a billionaire's wife. Perhaps he reconsidered. A marriage arranged for compensation? Then the helicopter arrived. The individual everyone believed would be absent emerged, and in his hand he carried her father's. Montclair Castle stood as a stronghold of luxury. Its aged stones were situated on the cliffs of southern France, where lavender fields bordered the Mediterranean's sapphire glow. This was not simply a wedding location. It served as a prestigious platform for the world's elite. Global financiers, royalty, tech titans, and dynastic heirs were in attendance. These very halls had previously hosted the engagement of Monaco's princess, their chandeliers reflecting a rich history. No press entered through its iron gates, no paparazzi climbed its walls, and no social media presence marred the event. Invitations were meticulously hand-etched on vellum, each name representing a key to power. Rothschild, Windsor, and Musk were present. Crystal flutes clinked, diamonds sparkled, and each guest possessed a significant level of influence. The air was fragrant with rosewater and ambition, and the castle's gardens showcased a display of immense wealth. Away from the exclusive area, a retired schoolteacher observed on a private live stream, his delicate hands shaking, his eyes focused on his daughter's singular poise. Iris Lane entered the castle's magnificent hall, her unassuming silk dress moving gently, crafted by a friend from a Kenyan nonprofit. It featured no crystals, no striking designs, only understated sophistication. Her chestnut hair cascaded loosely, accented by a simple veil, and her hazel eyes held a composure that appeared to quiet the room. At 27, Iris possessed a striking beauty, unpolished by the trappings of high society, and evident in the natural grace of someone who had educated children beneath acacia trees and handled aid contracts in Nairobi's dusty offices. Growing up in a modest New York apartment, she had experienced the loss of her mother to leukemia at 12. Her father, currently struggling with late-stage cancer, was too unwell to journey, his hospital bed a distant reality. She had once envisioned attending Oxford, but instead opted for a career with a nonprofit, her spirit molded by a dedication to service, rather than a pursuit of prestige. She walked alone now, the sound of her used shoes soft on the marble floor, her unassuming appearance a striking contrast to the surrounding opulence of Versace and Dior. The assembled guests shifted as Iris entered, their gazes sharp and critical. Celeste Dupont, a French banking heiress wearing a $50,000 Dior gown, moved closer, her voice laced with scorn. Who permitted the kitchen staff to approach the aisle? She whispered, her words easily picked up by the private live stream. A wave of laughter spread amongst the crowd, diamonds sparkling, as phones were used to quietly record Iris's simple dress. Victor Langston, a tech mogul known for his $10,000 watch, smiled from his seat. She's the bride? I thought she was delivering the cake, he remarked, eliciting laughter from his group. Iris gently touched her veil, maintaining a calm expression, yet the atmosphere was charged with derision. Her father's face on the live stream grew strained, the insults a blow to his pride, and the viewers felt a surge of anger, poised to erupt. As Iris walked down the aisle, the elite's disdain evolved into a planned attack. A flurry of irises and $30,000 gowns created a barrier, their voices a harsh, biting sound. Look at her, assuming she deserves this castle, one remarked, flinging a silk napkin toward Iris's feet. Back to the charity event, darling, another exclaimed, brandishing a phone adorned with diamonds. She's a bride from a thrift store. I bet she's never even witnessed a real wedding. Phones illuminated, their personal messages cruel, referencing Iris as a Montclair outsider, focusing on her pre-owned shoes. A hedge fund tycoon exclaimed, she's dragging this event into the gutter. The crowd's laughter felt like a public execution, with each word a lash against Iris's silence. Her father's face on the live stream showed pain, each taunt a blow to his daughter's dignity. The audience's anger intensified, their hearts pounding, furious at this mob's relentless cruelty. Amelia Westwood, Julian's cousin and a reluctant bridesmaid in a $20,000 Chanel dress, approached, her smirk sharp as a blade. You have no support, she stated, her voice quiet but sharp, intended for Iris's ears only. But perhaps you could make an effort to appear more refined? A prince of Monaco is seated in the front row. Her companions chuckled, their pearls reflecting the chandelier's glow, their murmured comments a harmful current. A beneficiary, without lineage. Iris straightened, her hazel eyes meeting Amelia's, resolute but with a tremor in her neck. The guests' laughter rose, their disdain a display of shame. Her father's hands trembled on the live stream, tears reflecting the light, but he focused on his daughter's strength. The audience's anger intensified, their hearts aching for her as her reputation was challenged. Amelia's criticisms became more pointed, her voice rising to make sure the live stream captured each phrase. You're a blemish on the Westwood legacy, she declared, her Chanel dress sparkling under the chandeliers. That gown, that veil, did you obtain them from a second-hand store? You'll never be accepted here. The sound of her heels echoed, their laughter a harsh chorus, as phones focused on Iris's simple silk dress. You're a nobody benefiting from Julian's reputation, Amelia stated, her smile sharp and pointed. He deserves a queen, not someone of lesser means. Iris's fingers pressed tighter on her veil, her hazel eyes revealing a hidden strength, though her expression remained calm. Her father's hands shook as he watched the live stream, the personal insult wounding his daughter's sense of value. The audience's anger intensified, their feelings of sadness for Iris growing as they reacted to this calculated attack on her identity and love. The murmurings of the crowd became louder, their sense of privilege creating a protective barrier around Iris. A wife of a Russian oligarch, wearing a $30,000 Givenchy gown, turned to her husband. She commented about Iris's mother's absence, questioning if it was due to a lack of a ticket or funds. Her voice was audible on the live stream. Her friends chuckled, their jewelry sparkling, with one remarking, "It must be a charity wedding. He is engaged in humanitarian efforts, facilitated by marriage." Devices emitted light, subtly recording Iris's plain veil, with accompanying messages appearing in personal conversations, a misjudgment in Hat Montclair. Oliver Crane, the son of a British lord, commented, "She appears to have stepped out of a soup kitchen." Amusement reverberated within the castle's stone walls, each word feeling like a stone thrown at Iris's heart. She straightened her veil, maintaining a steady smile, her silence acting as a defense against their malice. A wave of anger surged through the audience, their outrage at this planned cruelty a palpable force. The castle's employees, accustomed to remaining unseen, participated in the taunting with quiet remarks. A waiter, offering champagne, halted near Iris, speaking softly but clearly. "Miss, the staff entrance is over there," he stated, indicating a side door, his smile reflected in the expressions of other attendees. "We don't generally permit guests to stand at the altar," he continued, prompting laughter from the privileged. Cameras recorded Iris's serene expression, their intimate messages circulating. Wedding fraud, the audience's applause felt like a crushing wave, their self-importance a visible condemnation. Iris straightened her veil, her hazel eyes steady, but her father's live stream showed his face marked with distress, revealing the staff's involvement in a new act of deception. The viewers' anger reached its highest point, their pulses racing at this systemic injustice, their resentment poised to erupt. Upon Iris's arrival at the altar, the groom's absence felt like a new blow. Julian Westwood, the founder of Westwood Intelligence, who controls 40% of the global AI market, was missing. There was no music and no quartet played. The officiant, a silver-haired dignitary in a tailored suit, remained silent, his eyes moving uneasily. The guests looked at each other, their murmurs increasing. Had he abandoned her? A Dutch heiress murmured, her $15,000 earrings shifting. Whispers circulated about him still seeing that Italian model. One person commented, their voice picked up by the live stream's concealed microphones. Perhaps this entire situation was a publicity maneuver, someone suggested. Marry then vanish. Iris remained solitary, her simple dress sharply contrasting with the vacant spot next to her, her hazel eyes focused on the distant view. Her father's expression on the live stream faltered, the rejection a painful blow, and the audience's anger intensified, hoping for this public humiliation to cease. The live stream transformed into a space of harsh judgment, intensifying the elite's disdain for a worldwide audience. Phones illuminated, guests sharing messages in private chats, their comments a public condemnation. Nana Mebride, one read, focusing on Iris's simple veil. "She's a fraud," another posted, disseminated by a royal's cousin. A guest exclaimed, "Bet she paid to wear that gown," which triggered a surge of laughter that resonated throughout the hall. The live stream's hidden comments overflowed with messages like, "Cancel the wedding," and "Imposter." A woman wearing an Oscar de la Renta gown valued at $40,000 loudly protested. Her actions were seen as disrespectful to the castle. Calls for intervention arose. Iris's hands remained composed, her hazel eyes focused on the altar, while her father's expression on the live stream revealed intense distress, each online comment a source of pain for his daughter. The audience's outrage grew, their feelings sympathetic to Iris, hoping for this widespread embarrassment to cease. The castle's employees, accustomed to remaining unseen, subtly participated in the derision. As a waiter passed, offering champagne, he stopped near Iris, speaking softly but clearly. "Miss, the staff entrance is over there," he stated, indicating a side door, his expression echoed by those around him. "We typically don't allow guests to stand at the altar," he added, prompting amusement from the assembled elite. Numerous phones recorded Iris's composed face, their personal messages flying with speculation. Wedding fraud. The collective acceptance felt overwhelming, their sense of superiority a public display of judgment. Iris adjusted her veil, her hazel eyes unwavering, but her father's live stream feed showed his face etched with pain, revealing the staff's complicity in a fresh betrayal. The audience's anger intensified, their hearts pounding at this institutional cruelty, their outrage a fire ready to explode. The whispers grew into a crescendo, the guests scorn a global spectacle via the private live stream. A German tech heiress posted about no-name bride, zooming in on Iris's plain gown. A guest texted, describing her as a nobody, a message shared by a royal's cousin. The wife of a French diplomat exclaimed, "Bet she forged her invitation," This sparked laughter that resonated throughout the hall. The live stream's hidden comments became a torrent. "Cancel the wedding." One read, "Fraud." Another woman, wearing a $25,000 Valentino dress, declared, "She's humiliating the Westwood name." Someone urgently called for an intervention. Iris's hands remained steady, her hazel eyes focused on the altar, but her father's face on the live stream displayed profound distress, each digital interaction feeling like a painful setback for his daughter. The audience's displeasure surged, their emotions with Iris, yearning for this staged cruelty to cease. The quiet lingered, the altar vacant, the guests' presence a constant barrage. Then, a faint hum filled the air, rotating blades cutting through the sky. A helicopter landed on Montclair's back lawn, its black frame gleaming, its roar silencing the whispers. The doors opened and Julian Westwood stepped out, his tailored jacket dusted with snow, his tie undone, a leather case in hand. But the man beside him caused a stir, Iris's father, frail, his hospital gown replaced with a simple suit, his eyes bright with pride. Julian had flown to New York, engaged an international medical team, and arranged the flight to bring him here. A hush fell over the audience, their phones shaking, as the live stream exploded with activity. A collective gasp arose. Was that her father? Iris's hazel eyes grew wide, her breath paused, her composure faltering for the first time. The audience's spirits lifted, their frustration transforming into wonder, the reality a revelation. Julian didn't approach the VIP carpet. He sprinted, visibly running, across the lawn, his shoes disappearing into the grass, his blue eyes fixed on Iris. He arrived at the altar, out of breath, and clasped her hand, his voice strained. "Please accept my apologies for the delay, but I pledged I would always ensure you weren't left unsupported." He addressed the attendees, his expression intense. "This day marks not my wedding, but a ceremony celebrating the individual who enabled me to feel deserving of love." He indicated the officiant, and then exited the dressing room. After 5 minutes, he reappeared wearing a plain white tuxedo, devoid of cufflinks and any unnecessary embellishment. The assembly made way for him, their disapproval diminishing to a distant murmur, their mobile devices momentarily disregarded. Iris's father sat in the front row, wiping away quiet tears, his presence affirming Julian's commitment. The livestream comments flooded in, reading, "This is unreal. Hatch Iris and Julian." The wedding commenced, the atmosphere in the castle's electric with sincerity. As Julian positioned himself beside Iris, he addressed the assembled guests, his voice powerful enough to quiet any remaining murmurs. "You ridiculed my wife, believing her to be inadequate alone," he declared, his blue eyes intensely focused. "Iris Lane remains the core of this castle, and you will be held accountable for your actions." He presented a tablet, showing canceled agreements, suspended accounts, and terminated collaborations. "Each of you who mocked me, your names are removed from my network," he stated, his eyes fixed on Amelia. "You, cousin, are excluded from the Westwood Empire completely." The assembly reacted with shock, their jewels losing their brilliance, their standing diminishing. Celeste DuPont's banking arrangements collapsed, Victor Langston's technology corporation weakened, and the livestream became viral. Justice prevailed, Ren influence solidified, and Iris remained composed, her simple dress appearing regal, her victory confirmed by Julian's fury. The viewers applauded, their spirits lifted as his power diminished the arrogance of the influential. Iris's history remained unknown, whether to the attendees, not Amelia, or the livestream audience. At 20, she demonstrated exceptional linguistic ability, achieving fluency in 5 languages, and her work with nonprofits in Kenya connected assistance to isolated villages. She instructed children in schools constructed of mud, her earnings just enough to cover rent, her emotional development influenced by her mother's passing and her father's bravery. She encountered Julian at a Nairobi conference. Her translation of a refugee's account inspired him to financially support her organization. Their affection developed discreetly, away from public attention, based on common principles, rather than material possessions. She now stood at Montclair, her simple gown a statement against the elite's perceived disdain, her heart filled with a fierce determination to expose their falsehoods. The wedding ceremony was understated. There was no orchestra, no elaborate floral decorations, only Iris and Julian at the altar, their hands joined. The officiant spoke with a calm voice, his words a solemn promise of commitment, honor, and enduring love. Iris's father stood, visibly weakened but steadfast, and took her hand, leading her to Julian. The guests stood, the memory of their previous harshness a burden they carried, their quietness a strained politeness. Julian's gaze remained fixed on Iris, his self-esteem a suppressed intensity. The live stream recorded their promises, with comments appearing rapidly. "She's a queen, a Montclair miracle." The castle's order changed, its entrances opening further, its essence redefined by a woman who had faced rejection and now seemed beyond reproach. Julian moved ahead, needing no amplification, his voice sharp and clear. "I heard every word that was said, and I am aware of who spoke." He turned to Amelia, his cousin, his expression chilling. "You invoked the Westwood name to disparage my wife? You are hereby removed from every family trust established under my name." Her Chanel dress appeared to droop, her smirk vanished, her standing diminished. He addressed the guests, his blue eyes fierce. "Those of you who questioned her worth, who referred to her as the bride with no name, you are no longer included in any of my future deals. Ever." A hush fell over the assembly, their jewels losing their luster, their power wavering. Celeste Dupont's glass broke upon the marble floor, Victor Langston's timepiece ceased functioning, Oliver Crane's distinction proved insignificant. The live stream rapidly gained global prominence, with Iris Lane dominating social media, her lone walk becoming a celebrated event. The elite's decline was instantaneous, their pride collapsing under Julian's direction. Amelia's complexion paled, her financial resources cut off, her influence dispersing as their humiliation spread online. Celeste Dupont's banking empire encountered sanctions, her derision a public embarrassment. Victor Langston's tech agreements were terminated, his contempt a critical error. The Russian oligarch's wife departed, her Givenchy gown offering no protection from the rumors. She disrespected Westwood's bride. Oliver Crane's lordship was the subject of ridicule, his wagers a humiliation. The employees who had sneered were dismissed, their careers ended. The attendees who had laughed were denied access, their standing diminished. Iris stood beside Julian, her simple veil a quiet crown, her hazel eyes unwavering. The live stream recorded the outcome, comments appearing rapidly, they received what was due. Hail Iris resonated within the audience's hearts, their anger shifting into pride. Iris's victory and Julian's fury, a blaze that consumed the elite's injustice. The repercussions were immediate, a resolution brought without words. Amelia retreated into the castle's shadows, her trust fund depleted, her followers avoiding her. Celeste Dupont's banking empire underwent audits, her disdain a public mark. Victor Langston's tech deals failed, his derision a widely shared error. The Russian oligarch's wife departed, her Givenchy gown offering no protection from the rumors. She criticized Westwood's wife. Oliver Crane's lordship was ridiculed, his wagers a shame. The employees who had sneered were terminated, their identification removed, their careers ended. The attendees who had laughed dispersed, their invitations canceled, their power diminished. Iris stood beside Julian, her simple gown gleaming, her hazel eyes gentle yet firm. The audience's hearts pounded, their anger changing into pride. Iris's victory was a force that consumed the elite's harshness. Iris's father sat in the front row, his tears silent, his suit a gift from Julian. He rose again, took Iris's hand, and placed it in Julian's, his voice a whisper. "You've always been enough." The castle rose, no one daring to remain seated, not because of Julian's power, but because of Iris's eyes. Eyes that had witnessed loss, service, and love, and now radiated a strength that humbled the elite. Julian held her hand, their vows a promise of truth. No tiara adorned her, no $100,000 gown clothed her, but Montclair belonged to her, a monument to a woman who'd walked alone and made the world bow. She possessed no noble name, no dynasty behind her, no diamonds on her wrist. She possessed something unique compared to everyone else at Montclair, a man prepared to abandon everything simply to hold her hand. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe for more, and let us know in the comments, would you have stood alone like Iris did?